is full of heroes, people that we love. We have Legolas, Gimli, Gandalf, Aragorn. You then got the unlikely heroes of Bilbo, Frodo, Sam, Merry and Pippin. But there's also some characters that we just love to hate. So I've got 5 characters here that I'm just going to go through of the characters that we hate in Lord of the Rings, and then we do have some dishonourable mentions at the bottom. So the first one is Grima Wormtongue. So why he's hated is that he's slimy, manipulative, and just damn creepy. He whispers poison into Theoden's ear, and he just basically puts Rohan under Saruman's control. He also stares at Éowyn, and it's just creepy. He's a bit of a lech, and the whole bit just makes me uncomfortable, where he's kind of like backed her into a corner. Not on. Does he have any redemption? Kinda. He tries to turn on Saruman, but not enough to save his reputation. If you've seen the extended edition, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, now I haven't seen the theatrical release, I've only seen the extended version. So the way that Saruman is... how do I word this? The last time you see Saruman is very different in each one. So in the theatrical version, from what I understand, my husband's seen it. I haven't, because I refuse to watch it. I've seen the good one now. I'm not going to see just the one that has all those questions that basically are answered in the theatrical. In the extended. I'm not going to see the theatrical. But I believe that you get the impression that Saruman is just left at Isengard, and Treebeard and all his tree friends kind of keep him prisoner there. But in the extended version, that's not what happens. What happens is that Grima Wormtongue tries to stab him in the back. Legolas shoots Grima. I think Saruman is actually stabbed in the back, and he falls down and he lands on kind of a big wood and he dies. And that's kind of that. It doesn't really make a big difference to the storyline, but I always like that it kind of finishes his story off. It kind of closes that box. So moving on to Saruman the White. So he starts as a noble wizard. In The Hobbit you see him sort of a more noble wizard, and I kind of think he started to turn in there anyway. And then you get to The Lord of the Rings and you find out he betrayed everyone because he sided with Sauron. So he has some evil deeds, like he bred an entire Uruk-hai army, he burns Fangorn Forest, he imprisons Gandalf, he takes over Rohan. Just classic villain behaviour, really. He doesn't have that many good points about him, but my gosh, he's such a good villain. Now, he is obviously played by the late, great Christopher Lee. And he's the only person who actually met Tolkien. I mean, how insane is that? The more I find out about Christopher Lee, the more just amazed I am by the man. You know, he was in a rock band or a death metal band, I think. He was just insane. Now, the scene where he dies in the extended cut, where he gets stabbed and impaled on a wheel, as I mentioned, when they were filming that, from what I've read, I think he was meant to scream or something after being stabbed, and Christopher Lee said to the director, Peter Jackson, have you ever been stabbed? And he said no. And Christopher Lee said, well, I have. And that's not how you react. This is how you would react. And he kind of put his own experience into the film, and I just think that's amazing. So yes, Saruman is a dreadful person. He does a lot which you can definitely hate, but he was played so well. I don't think anyone can really argue with that. I just think he was amazing in that role. And to be able to play a character so well that you don't like the character, you're not just thinking, oh, this is kind of like half-hearted, amazing. So Saruman is on this list because he was dreadful, but I've just got a love for Christopher Lee. Moving on to Denethor II, who is the steward of Gondor. Now, he also makes my skin crawl a little bit. So he was a terrible father to Faramir. He absolutely played favourites with Boromir. Now, I loved Faramir, and and when you see the kind of the background, again, I don't know if this is in the theatrical or just in the extended, but you kind of see how Faramir gets treated by his father. I just don't like him even more. He literally tries to burn Faramir alive. I have no words for that. I mean, that is peak parenting, right? Didn't even check his son was alive and was just like, put him on the pyre, we'll go together. So, yeah, there's no more words really needed than that. An unhinged moment. He eats tomatoes in just a very disgusting way, whilst his son rides into battle right outside his window. I mean, there seems to be no worry, no concern that his son's not coming back. Yeah, I have no more words than that either, to be honest with you. And just one more thing, instead of thinking, right, I am the steward of Gondor, I'm going to try and do what I can to save my people, he just sets himself on fire. Again, nothing more to say. So let's move on to Gollum/Smeagol. So it's obvious why he's here as a hated character. He's constantly betraying Frodo and Sam. He talks to himself quite creepily, but that's just kind of the whole split personality thing, so I can kind of put that to one side. And then he leads them into a spider's den. You know, he had absolutely no intention of the ring going back to Mordor. He just wanted to be able to get it for himself, so he was like, right, Shelob, that's the way. She's always hungry, she'll love a little hobbit snack, let's go there. But why we love to hate him as fans is that he is tragic, and you see his origin story, and it is tragic, but he's also dangerous. You just don't know when he's going to flip, how he's going to flip, which side is going to be coming out. Is it actually really Smeagol? Is it Gollum? You just don't know, and kind of that flip-flop, zigzag behaviour makes him a bit more exciting to watch. I'll be honest, I don't know about you guys, but my favourite scenes watching these over and over again is always with Aragorn, Gimli and Legolas. I just love those bits. I've always found them more exciting, more happens, more goes on. But when Gollum comes in and you have that with Frodo and Sam, it is exciting. I find, you know, when those three are together, it is more exciting than with just Frodo and Sam. But that's just my opinion. Don't shoot me. But let me know what you guys think. So you could definitely say that Gollum, Smeagol, is iconic, 100% iconic, but he's completely loathsome. Tell me another word to describe him that's not loathsome. I think that's perfect. Right, going over to just a book-only character for all you die-hard book fans out there, it's Lotho Sackville Baggins. I hope I'm saying that right. So, why he's hated by the book fans is that whilst Frodo is absent, he helps take over the Shire. He's greedy, he's power-hungry, and he wants to control everyone. He wants status. And he works with Saruman to ruin everything. You know, his vision is, you know, he'll be in control and all this sort of stuff. But I don't think Saruman, either of them would really relinquish control. Not 100%. You'd definitely be their lackey. So fans hate him because he just betrayed Frodo, really, and Bilbo and Merry and Pippin, and to an extent Gandalf, because Gandalf is so much around in The Hobbit, he's around so much in Hobbiton, and he's adored by people there. So he definitely is a wannabe villain with absolutely no chill. He just is like 0 to 100 with that. As soon as Frodo's out, he's like, right, I'm taking control, let me on the throne. So yeah, not a very nice character at all. Let me know if you want to know more about book characters which aren't in the films. I can definitely do a video about that as well, because there's a lot that happens around, sort of in the background, that we obviously can't see. As amazing as the films are, and they are some of my all-time favourite films, they were long enough without trying to add all that extra stuff in. So yeah, let me know if you want characters that were in the books but not in the films, as I've done with other franchises. So we've got 2 dishonourable mentions. I'm going to put in 2 here. So we have the Mouth of Sauron. So this is the extended edition only. So this is a smug, grotesque thing that just loves to gloat. Now, this character makes me feel really uncomfortable when I watch it. So if you want to see what he looks like, definitely go Google it. Go watch the scene if you haven't seen it. But he's the mouth, obviously Sauron is the eye, he's the mouth, maybe he has some ears and a nose somewhere as well, I don't know. But yeah, he's just, he gets a good comeuppance from, I think it's Aragorn, and I liked that. But he's just disgusting. He only appears for like maybe less than 5 minutes, but it's enough for me to absolutely detest the man, the thing, the creature. I don't know what it's meant to be. Maybe it's, I don't know, an elf off the wrong path. I have no idea. But yeah, just not a very nice thing at all. And the last character is Shelob. Now, I mentioned Shelob in a video when I was talking about creatures in Harry Potter, because you've got, obviously, the giant spiders there. And Shelob is one of these characters who doesn't have any dialogue, is basically just a creature who is out there living life, not really doing anything wrong, just eating goblins and orcs and hobbits as they stroll through, as is, I guess, her right. But she's a giant damn spider. Not cool. I'm not a massive spider fan. I can watch it. It doesn't bother me like that, but I know that my mum left the room when we watched it the first time because she read the books and she was like, I know what's coming, absolutely don't want to see it. I also think that Peter Jackson doesn't like spiders either. He said it was something to do with the way they moved. So I think that was something kind of that he made her much bigger and because of his fear. But don't quote me on that, it's just things I've heard over time. But that's it for this video, guys. Just a few characters which we love to hate and why we hate them from Lord of the Rings. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to explore within Lord of the Rings or other franchises. I'm always open to ideas. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, you take care.